They just couldn't do it. You know, they just couldn't do what was right and put these men in the Hall of Fame. Okay, they just couldn't fucking do it. You know, I had hope when I saw Clemens and Bonds, Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds, ahead of that 75% threshold. But the experts kept warning that the cowards, you know, that weren't publicly putting out their votes and their identities weren't going to vote for these individuals in the same numbers. They said that. They kept saying that. I kept hoping that, they would understand that they're being very biased against Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds and Kurt Schilling. They're being extraordinarily biased. And lo and behold, today only one person gets into the Hall of Fame, David Ortiz, who, look, he has numbers sufficient to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's multiple World Series championships, 541 home runs. Him and Edgar Martinez are the greatest designated hitters to ever play the game. But the man was primarily a designated hitter, okay? Which means he didn't play the outfield. There's no way that anyone can convince me that David Ortiz is more worthy of being in the Hall of Fame than Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, or Kurt Schilling. And you keep hearing these fucking assholes say, well, we suspect that they use steroids. We suspect that they use steroids. We suspect that they use steroids. Right? That's their reasoning behind keeping these two men out. But with David Ortiz, they'll say something like, well, even though he was included in the Mitchell report, we don't know what that substance is that he took. It could have been false positives, and the commissioner said, that shouldn't count against him. Well, what the fuck are you counting against Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens? Suspicion? You don't have any evidence. It's bullshit. Everybody with a fucking brain knows what it is. Most of you motherfuckers love the Red Sox. He endeared himself to you guys. You all love Big Papi, and you found some frivolous bullshit excuse in your wretched fucking hearts to put him in and keep these men out. And if it really is about steroids, you sorry sack of shits, then why is Kurt Schilling out? Why? Because you don't like his politics. You don't like the fact that he's a right winger. You don't like the fact that he's a Trumpist. You don't like the fact that he called you out on your bullshit, so you got in your feelings and took away Hall of Fame votes because he dared insult you, which shows that you motherfuckers are not objective. You don't look at baseball careers. You don't look at a guy's impact on the fucking field and his hitting and his numbers and the advanced metrics. It's about how you feel about the motherfucker. You've been fucking revealed and exposed. You're scum. Your Hall of Fame is about as fucking worthless as WWE's. If you don't have these three men, and in my opinion, Pete Rose. Yeah, Pete Rose betted on baseball as a fucking manager, not as a player. How in the world is a multiple-time All-Star, a multiple-time World Series champion, a multiple-time hits king, and an all-time hits leader not in the fucking Hall of Fame? The all-time home run leader, the all-time home run single season leader, not in the fucking Hall of Fame. A seven-time MVP, not in the Hall of Fame. A man who put out one of the most gutsy and gritty performances in World Series history, bleeding through his goddamn sock I don't give a fuck if he voted for fucking Hitler. He should be in the motherfucking Hall of Fame. By the way, you got some people who were Hitler fucking sympathizers in the Hall of Fame. You sorry pieces of shit. You fucking hypocrites. Last but not least, a man that won 7 Cy Young Awards is not in the Hall of Fame. Why? Because he didn't kiss your asses. Fuck all of you. Fuck that Hall of Fame. It's garbage. You goddamn cowards. Mighty funny that in the vote that was open, the vote that was public, where you could actually see who's voting, they qualified. But the shadow 56% who were too fucking scared to put their names out there in attachments so you could see who they voted for, didn't vote for these 3 men. You sorry sons of bitches. So it's up to the Veterans Committee, which I'm going to assume, if anything, they're going to be more conservative overall than this bunch. So I don't know if Barry Bonds or Roger Clemens will ever get in. Maybe Kurt Schilling. I don't know if these guys are ever going to get in. Not now, not in their lifetimes, and possibly not in mine. I don't think they're ever going to get in. All because of pettiness. But oh boy, Major League Baseball sure love carrying, carrying on national TV Barry Bonds' home run chase, right? Every fucking ESPN, it was following him. Oh, when the ratings was great, you loved these motherfuckers, didn't you? You loved Barry Bonds. You loved Sammy Sosa. You loved Mark McGwire when he was going through the home run chase, which, by the way, saved baseball, right? We all know it saved baseball, but you keep these motherfuckers out, right? In my book, they're all Hall of Famers. I don't give a fuck what none of these motherfuckers say. 762 home runs, Hall of Famer. 7 Cy Young Awards, 4,600 strikeouts, Hall of Famer. 583 home runs, McGwire, 10.6 home run at bat ratio, greatest of all time, Hall of Famer. Even though Sammy Sosa was an unclutched motherfucker, he was a home run hitting son of a bitch. 609 career home runs, all-time home run leader as far as Chicago Cubs is concerned. He should be in the Hall of Fame. Rafael Palmeiro, 3,000 hits, 569 home runs. He's a Hall of Famer. Manny Ramirez, 315 career batting average, 555 career home runs. To me, a superior player to David Ortiz, Hall of Famer. They love David Ortiz because he played in Boston. He played in Beantown. And if you look at the number of players who played in Beantown, right, who were just good, and look at the Hall of Fame and see how many of them have been enshrined in the Hall of Fame. There's a New England, New York bias when it comes to the Hall of Fame. Someone explain to me how Jim Rice is a Hall of Famer, but these individuals aren't. No knock on Jim Rice. He was good, but he was not all-time great like them. Gary Sheffield, I think what holds people hold against him, he played on different teams. That's not his fault. He took advantage of free agency. He was on that Florida Marlins team in 1997 that won a World Series, 509 career home runs, one of the great hitters of his day. But nope, he's not in the Hall of Fame. If you want to talk about suspicion, I'm going to end this video on this. Why is it that David Ortiz only started becoming a great hitter when he went to the Boston Red Sox? Because when he was playing the Minnesota Twins, I didn't see any evidence of him being a great hitter. He was a guy that was hitting like 15 home runs a year, 220, 230 average. Then he comes to Boston, and then magically he becomes this 35 to 45 home run, 280 to 300, yearly hitter. I mean, people could suspect that, and the fact that he was on the Mitchell list raises suspicions. But it's all good. It's all good. People know now what the deal is. You can lie, and you can obfuscate. You can do all that bullshit, but at the end of the day, people know what's up.